another thrilling season in the First Division, and now you can enjoy the action all over again. The great goals, the spectacular saves, the triumphs, the disappointments. It's all captured on video. There's your team's season in pictures. Goals galore and saves galore. The best and worst of the season. Plus, race for the championship, how the title was won. Football League videos, official and exclusive. And remember, last season's collection is still available. World Sports Action presents the official Football League video. The Crystal Palace story, 1989-90.
Picked up the ball and it saw Mark how long? Well, I think there's about 3 minutes left as McGoldrick turns it in! That's made it sheer now! That has made it absolutely clear for Crystal Palace with that goal from Ian Wright.
The Eagles have landed. Ian Wright and Palace supporters celebrate their team's return to the top flight after an absence of 8 years. Steve Coppell's exciting young side did it the hard way, beating Swindon and Blackburn in the playoffs. And now it's time to consolidate this magnificent achievement and prepare for the new season. Palace recruit 2 experienced players, Andy Gray and Mark Dennis, for a combined fee of £550,000. Out go Gavin Nebbeling to Fulham, Dennis Bailey to Birmingham, Mark Hone to Welling United. Mark Harris and John Salako also go on loan deals. Andy Gray makes his Palace debut against his former team.
So Queen's Park Rangers starting the second half with a corner and a chance and a goal on his English First Division debut from Paul Wright. "12 minutes left. That's a penalty. A push by David Burke on Martyn Allen. Palace protest. Ray Lewis gave it straight away. Paul Wright has really made this a day for him to remember. 2-0, he's got them both.
Immediate evidence of just how tough it's going to be in the First Division. But now, 3 consecutive home matches against Manchester United, Coventry and Wimbledon. Fireworks signal, Palace are back before the game against Manchester United.
Robson first for the loose ball. Hughes. And that's Webb challenging for it. The cross by Sharp. McClare's header. Oh, and Hughes had a chance, but Robson came in behind him and took his opportunity. Maybe a last chance here for Palace. It's Dyer who glances it on. Ian Wright! Palace had their first goal back in the First Division in the last minute.
And Coventry beginning to look more menacing. Here's Smith. Oh, I think the defender was unlucky there. Kilcline, the skipper, might try his luck from here. There he is! Oh, it's found its way in.
Right. Thomas. Jeff Thomas has a goal that Wimbledon won't be too happy about, but he's delighted. We're into the last 15 minutes. Wright. Oh, Young hesitated. Bright got to it. Ian Wright with a goal now that really could confirm Palace's first win of the season.
Four games gone. Palace are 15th with 4 points from a possible 12, but of course it's still very early days. And now comes the biggest test since being promoted. It's a match Palace will never be allowed to forget. Palace against Liverpool at Anfield.
Barnes. Pemberton showing him the inside route, and it was blocked by Hopkins, rather fortunately for Crystal Palace. Nicol places it into the corner. And there was an air of inevitability about the opening goal. Palace have only played one away game since their return to the First Division. That was on the opening day. They lost 2-0 at Queen's Park Rangers. They're 1-0 down here, but they have a free kick. Alan Pardew and Andy Gray over the ball. The captain, Jeff Thomas, the number 8, is there as well. Another player brought up in the northwest. And it's hit the post from Thomas, very unlucky for Crystal Palace. Grobbelaar was beaten to his left. And a rasping, low free kick from Jeff Thomas, a whisker away from an equaliser. But Liverpool looking to celebrate the let-off with Barnes and Beardsley. They changed the angle, got it past the wall, past the goalkeeper, but not past the post. But certainly Thomas's free kick will have given Crystal Palace some belief that they have a right to be on the same stage as Liverpool. McMahon, though, is away here. Rush inside him. McMahon chips Suckling brilliantly. Whelan. And Crystal Palace getting terrific support from their travelling band, even though they're 2-0 down. Barnes. Oh, and here's Beardsley. Surely a third here. Rush helps himself to it. Right on half-time. It's Beardsley's corner. And from Barnes' flick, the scorer is Gary Gillespie. And even with 4 goals backed, there's no slacking from the home team. Rush prepared to go and try and win possession. He's back in the groove now with a goal in 2 consecutive games after a slow start, and linking up with Beardsley. Peter Beardsley deserves to be amongst the scorers. Well, often when there's a gulf between the two sides, the match loses shape. The team that's winning can overindulge or simply become complacent. That hasn't been the case with Liverpool, and Crystal Palace, for their part, haven't accepted the inevitability of their lot here, but they're in danger of losing a 6th goal because the challenge on Whelan has led to a penalty. And Liverpool, who are more concerned usually about success than sentiment, are sending Aldridge on. Beardsley has almost volunteered to go off. Now, will they let him take the penalty? Barnes has taken on that job, and Barnes says, on you go. So, Aldridge, what an entrance it will be if he puts this away. He has done, and it's the biggest cheer of the night. And that's a magnificent moment. It reflects great credit on Liverpool Football Club on the teammates of the goal scorer. Oh, on Pardew. A penalty for Crystal Palace. Yes, rightly given. And even now, Liverpool have the nerve to protest about it. Burrows had a word with the referee. So Thomas, 6-0 down. Oh, and it stays 6-0. It was too much for Crystal Palace's captain. Barnes sizes up the possibilities, and it goes over the wall, and it's a perfect free kick on a perfect night for Liverpool. Well, it's Barnes in charge of another free kick. He doesn't go the direct route this time. Liverpool, though, are in possession of another corner. Here's Hussein, and it's 8 now. There's such an air of celebration at Anfield tonight. The one thing that they can celebrate is going to the top of the table. And maybe a ninth, yes! Nicol, who started it all way back in the 7th minute, has he rounded it off.
It's a footballing lesson for Palace. Manager Steve Coppell says, "This result will haunt me for the rest of my life." But now Coppell has to pick his team up for the next match away to Southampton.
Wallace. Right out. Hit the bar. And here's Cockrell. Palace surviving by the skin of their teeth. Thomas got up, and Wright! Flowers made a marvellous save. Horn, the Southampton come again. Still goalless, Letizia. Typical football from Matt Letizia. Oh, Pardew's let Horn in here. Here's a chance, and he scored. Hopkins, the target on the near post. There he is, and it's gone in. Hopkins will claim it.
In the Littlewoods Cup second round, Palace lose at home to Leicester 2-1 in the first leg. Ian Wright gets the Palace goal. And now more home games follow in the league, with fixtures against Nottingham Forest and Everton. First, it's Forest.
McGoldrick headed straight to him by Walker. Oh, and Wright! Ian Wright, who really is looking the part in the First Division, and that could win it for Palace.
Nevin. He's got Sheedy Squirrel. That's a terrible ball, and Gray was quickly onto it. Now he's got Wright to his left, Bright to the right. Here is Bright. Well hit, good stop, and Wright will score. Gray. Pardew is onside. Now he might fancy his chances against Southall. He does, and scores. Everton still probing. Well, that's a good ball. Newell's in. And Newell celebrates his England call-up with a goal.
And those two victories lift Palace to 9th in the table on 11 points, just 4 behind the leaders, Liverpool. And now there's another win at Leicester in the Littlewoods Cup, although Palace have to rely on away goals to see them through. Mark Bright gets the vital goal in extra time. So, 3 straight wins, the team full of confidence as they travel to the baseball ground to face Derby County.
Here's Wright, and Pardew's in. Well struck. Palace go in front. Here's Goddard. Still Goddard. And that's 1-1. Derby back on terms. Well, having earned the penalty, Saunders with a chance to put Derby in front from the spot. Saunders against Suckling. And he scores 2-1. Saunders is away again. Oh, it's a delightful cross. Goddard, his second. Derby's third.
Now the Eagles' return to Division 1 attracts the worldwide soccer cameras to Selhurst Park for the Millwall match. They broadcast the game around the globe. Coming up, extended highlights.
Antrobus, touched on by Waddock. Oh, and the back pass. It's an own goal. Hopkins. Well, whether that was down to the wind, I wouldn't think so. It was just a piece of savage misjudgment by Jeff Hopkins. And Millwall are presented with a goal. Perry Suckling was on his way out, couldn't get back. In the 6th minute, it's Crystal Palace 0, Millwall 1. And they were certainly looking the more positive side, Millwall, but they could have hardly expected to take the lead in such an extraordinary fashion. For the non-committed, it's worth another look. He couldn't have done it more precisely had he tried. McGoldrick was caught by Antrobus, but the ball had gone out of play. Steve Antrobus, one of the promising Millwall youngsters. He's only 20. He actually played rugby until he was 14 as a second row forward, and here he is now, quite a nimble left-sided midfield player who's adapted well to First Division opportunities given to him because Kevin O'Callaghan is on the Millwall casualty list at the moment. That was Thompson. Waddock. It was a difficult ball to try and play, but such is Millwall's confidence at the moment that they're attempting those sort of things. But Pemberton looking to change the picture. Here's Wright. Oh, that's magnificent. Direct, dangerous and deadly. What a reply by Crystal Palace, with Pemberton really setting the tempo with a charging run, and the finishing was top class by Ian Wright. A difficult ball to control, but he managed it with the first touch and scored with the second. A cracking South London derby, a goal apiece. We've only had 13 minutes. And that's Ian Wright's party piece. That's great goal scoring. His 6th of the season, 5 of them in the First Division, which he hasn't graced until this season. The flag is up. Well, we learnt a lot about the character of Crystal Palace after that 9-0 battering at Anfield, because they've not been deflated by that experience. In fact, they've learnt from it. And just losing a goal, though be it a crazy own goal here, the morale is still there, and they fought back with a marvellous counter-attacking goal. It's Dyer settling for the corner. Alex Dyer to take it himself. Wright waiting by the far side in case it's flicked on. Thomas, and Wright spun. It's a question as to whether Ian Wright got a touch or whether Thomas's header went straight in. Wright firmly believes it was his goal, but Crystal Palace have turned this around. Thomas up well, and beyond Horn, and and Ian Wright is the goal scorer. And Millwall, who began in such fine fettle, are 2-1 down, and we haven't had 20 minutes. It's not exactly been a one-man show, but Ian Wright has responded to the difficulties that Crystal Palace found themselves in. John Docherty, the Millwall manager, who usually lights up on the bench, and his nerves are being frayed by what's happening to his team here. Cascarino. Oh, and Suckling's lost it. It's off the line, and it's Thomas. David Thompson had the goal gaping in front of him for Millwall then. And Suckling is less than certain. Carter got the better of Hopkins, and Sheringham! Well, Teddy Sheringham was the architect of that attack, and he very nearly rounded it off. And in fact, it wasn't the goalkeeper who stopped it. It may well have been Thomas. But chances are plenty, 3 goals already. Waddock. Sheringham. Well, he'd love to get a goal past his old schoolboy teammate. But Suckling, with some help from his defenders, is keeping Teddy Sheringham at bay at the moment. Sheringham made a lot of ground to get there, and still Sheringham was mounting a solo challenge then for Millwall, and he got his side right to the edge of the area. And that creaky Crystal Palace defending evident again. Just over 10 minutes to go in the first half. Millwall looking to equalise. Waddock. It's over the line finally from Sheringham's back heel, but I'm sure the whistle had gone a good few seconds earlier. It was another melee. And once Suckling was down, I think the whistle had gone. McGoldrick, now Shaw, Wright trying to stay onside, he's done that. And there's something of a despairing lunge by Stevens. Oh, and it's going to be Bright! 3-1. Well, Horn was given no chance by Stevens' mistake with the underhit back pass. He just wanted to ease it to the goalkeeper, but McGoldrick kept chasing, and Mark Bright opens his First Division account for this season, and he's been waiting for a chance like this one. Well, 3-1. It hardly tells the tale of the first half, in which Millwall have certainly played a part. And coming right on half-time, we're 30 seconds or so away of that. McGoldrick. taken away from Stevens. What is for sure is that Millwall must be more vigilant than they showed in the first 45 minutes. Another goal for Palace, and surely it would be certain then that the local pride in the 3 points would end up in this particular quarter of South East London. And the patching up of the centre of Millwall's defending is really coming apart at the seams. It's Dyer to take this free kick. Thomas! Oh my word. Thomas had the first header, Wright the last. It was a very intelligent ball in by Dyer. Thomas got free, pushed onto the bar, and then Wright couldn't steer it in. Carter switching the point of attack. This is Sheringham. Herlock's got into the centre with Cascarino this time. Dawes looking to supply the cross. And he's done just that. Cascarino! 3-2! Another twist to the plot. Ian Dawes must take great credit for delaying and delaying until he's sure he got the ball right. And he picked out Cascarino in his territory, the far post. A textbook header. 5 minutes into the second half. 3-2. Millwall see some daylight. But they've neglected Wright. And that could be very, very costly. Horn could only push it out. Following in was Andy Gray. And Millwall, who were still celebrating, they nearly found their joy abruptly cut short. That's Wright! Oh, wonderful save by Horn. Great agility. He's out there again. And Mark Wright knew exactly what he was doing, catching the goalkeeper off his line, but Horn repositioned very quickly. That's not a bad pass. Played by the goalkeeper Horn outside his area to Antrobus. There's Sheringham against the bar. Again, direct, purposeful football at its best. Except in one respect, it didn't end up in the Crystal Palace net. Cascarino's offside. Sheringham shakes the head in disappointment. He flicked the head in a fearsome moment at goal in this incident. Horn's through pass, shall we say. A cross on the run from Antrobus. Met sweetly by Sheringham. Sucking up with it, off the bar and out. Right. It's a turn that didn't come off in his own half, and possibly those on the Palace bench wouldn't have appreciated him losing the ball there. Especially as Millwall still have possession in their hands. Carter. Sparham trying to measure the cross. It's produced the corner. Taken short and quickly, and it's unsettled Crystal Palace. Carter then wanted too long. Gets the cross in now. More chaos. with Thompson going in and then Hopkins clearing, but not very far. Sparham, Carter, help is at hand from Stevens. Now Palace think about moving out, but Waddock is onside, it's wide. Well, it goes down as a Millwall miss, but let's credit Gary Waddock for a terrific run, and Keith Stevens, who's had some poor moments, with a fine pass. There's no time to relax when you're watching from the dugout for either side. Just Brighton right up for Palace. Waddock. Sheringham. Carter is the outlet again on the right. Crystal Palace with Anthrobus has equalised for Millwall, with Palace looking vulnerable again, and Suckling left totally exposed. It's 3-3. And this time Carter's cross caught Palace out, and torpedoing in was 20-year-old Steve Anthrobus. A flying finish. Well, 3-3 is on the score sheet. Onto the field is Phil Barber, who has taken over for Crystal Palace from Alex Dyer. Wright wants to try and settle it himself, but that was asking too much. And Barber still not really attuned to the blistering pace, and that's understandable. Stevens charged down by Gray, fairly, and Wright's away. Wright's up with him. Crystal Palace can win it here with Mark Wright. It's a great finish. Millwall hold their heads. There's 2.5 minutes left. Horn had absolutely no chance. It's sped into the top corner. And this great pairing, Wright and then Bright, may have finally eased Crystal Palace ahead at the right time. What a strike. Uproar at Selhurst Park, and Millwall hit back. Cascarino, it's Waddock. Dawes, can he force it in? No! Well, if you wanted a moment to sum up the frenetic splendour of this football match, that was it. Dawes. That's Anthrobus, it's looping wide. Well, Cascarino missed his kick, but Waddock had a good opportunity to haul Millwall level again. It came off Suckling, then Dawes dived in. It was a scrum from then on until Thomas hacked it off the line. Wright. And Dawes steers it back. Mark Wright's only previous goal this season was in the Littlewoods Cup. Carter, that'll be a corner, but he's kept it in. And some wonderful rescuing defending there by Hopkins. And this is Wright. Well, Millwall really can't complain. Even after going 4-3 down, they could have still got back into the game. It's a game that almost defies description. And you really don't want it to end, although the Palace fans would disagree with me. Sheringham. Cascarino. Gray steers it out, and McGoldrick will collect. That'll do for Palace. Palace must live on their nerves a little bit longer. But they can end that, of course, with a fifth goal. And they might do it from the corner if there's time for it to be taken. There have been a couple of injuries in the second half, but one wouldn't have thought enough for nearly 5 minutes of stoppage time. Now it is finished. A magnificent match with Wright winning it for Palace, and those are the two who have done the job so spectacularly for Steve Coppell's team. Steve Antrobus, who thought he'd saved it for Millwall with the equaliser to make it 3-3. But two from Wright, two from Bright, too much for Millwall.
What a smashing match. And Palace are now taking off. They're 10th in the table, 5 points away from the leaders, Everton. The Littlewoods Cup tie against Forest ends in a goalless draw. That means a replay will be needed against the holders. And that's coming up after the league match at Aston Villa.
Gage will strike it. Suckling got down well and made a good save. At the corner. Ormondroyd's flick. Platt! And another fine save from Perry Suckling. As far as Wright. And Spink did very well. Wright's got all sorts of space on this right-hand side. Here he is. Wright is well forward as well, if he can find him. Well, that won't reach him. Oh, dropped by Spink. Pardew! And Palace are in front. It'll go down as a mistake by Nigel Spink. Ormondroyd. Here's Platt. Well taken. Now, can he score? Yes. 1-1. We're into the last minute. What can Villa do? Gage. Here's Platt. Oh, he's in again. And Platt has won it for Villa.
Now another setback in the Littlewoods Cup replay at the City Ground. 5-0 to Forest, the result. Well, Palace have had to come back from a heavy defeat before this season. Can they do it again against Manchester City and Luton Town?
Crystal Palace clearly determined to make a strong start here at Main Road, and Hopkins penalised that time for a tough tackle. Oh, and David White caught everyone out. 5 minutes gone. City in front. McNabb got it back from Bishop. White cropping up on the left. Oh, it was nearly an own goal, and Morley was there. Great work by the former City goalkeeper, Perry Suckling. Bishop's free kick. That's Morley. That's two, and really that's what Manchester City deserve. Morley. He's got options right and left. Lake. Oh, and it's going to be an open goal. Clive Allen thrives on such opportunities.
Martyn has had a steady afternoon in goal so far. Good length with the kick. Wright got up. Here he is again. Oh, that's a tremendous finish from Mark Bright. Elstrup got in, couldn't guide the header. That's not quite what he was looking for. Oh, well hit. Beat Parkin. Wilson's in here. Onto the bar. And Luton have equalised.
Palace have let in 37 goals already this season, so manager Steve Coppell pays £1 million to Bristol Rovers for keeper Nigel Martyn. Reserve goalie Brian Parkin joins Rovers on loan as cover. Darren Carr signs from non-league Burton Albion. And Martyn goes straight into the side for the home game against Spurs, and that's followed by a trip to Sheffield Wednesday.
That's Wright! A goal straight from the training ground. Palace in front. Howes. Well, they've got to get a tackle in. Well, they didn't. And they can count the cost now, Crystal Palace. David Howes equalises. Gascoigne isn't the favourite with the Selhurst Park supporters. But he'll want to have his own say on the field. Tripped by Pemberton. Penalty. Lineker and Nigel Martyn had no chance. Wright. Oh, that's a terrific save at full stretch by Torsvet. Wright so unlucky. Pemberton. Wright going it alone. Bright, can he pinch the goal? He does! Palace are back at 2-2. Gascoigne and Gray. Both extrovert players. And both with questionable temperaments, and it's all ended in a flare-up here that Joe Worrell is capable of sorting out if the players give him a chance. Some of those in there are trying to restore peace, and Steve Coppell came from the bench to give the referee a helping hand. Now, who's he going to single out? Gascoigne. Samways takes it. That's so cruel for Crystal Palace, and Nigel Martyn in particular. It'll go down as Samways' goal.
Wright's away here. McGoldrick. He's done well. Gray! 1-0 Palace. Beautifully struck by Andy Gray. McGoldrick's kick. Hopkins! And Palace are 2 up. Jeff Hopkins. Atkinson, nice touch. Whitten, still Whitten. And that's 2-1. Very well taken. Sheridan, over he goes. And that's a penalty in the last minute. Hurst from the spot for 2-2, and it could yet be the last kick of the game. Yes!
A point at Hillsborough, but it's still a worrying sequence. Just 2 points from the last 5 games. Palace slip to 16th in the table. Wright and Bright are on target in the Zenith Cup win over Luton. 4-1 the result. And another player arrives to strengthen the defence. Andy Thorne signs from Newcastle. And Thorne will make his debut at Manchester United. Then an away game, at home if you see what I mean, to Charlton. But first, QPR at Selhurst Park.
Ray Wilkins making his return to the English First Division. He was signed from Rangers by Trevor Francis before he lost his job. Sinton to take the corner. Martyn coming for it, didn't get there. Maddox heads it into a goal where the goalkeeper was missing. Bardsley. That was laid off by Falco. Wilkins. And on it goes from Ferdinand and Sinton. It's a terrific move from Queen's Park Rangers, and now they lead by 2. Met by McDonald. Wilkins. And here's Peter Reid, still full of running. Sinton might be in for his second. He's got it! 3-0 to Queen's Park Rangers. Delight for Don Howe.
Martyn on this left-hand side, driven in. Beardsmore scores for United. Martyn again. Oh, flicked on at the near post. Beardsmore! That's a tremendous save from Nigel Martyn, who's got something to say. Ince. Still Paul Ince. Twisting the cross in. McClare. Another fine save. Well, he's earned his money this afternoon. Palace might have something to say about this result yet. Wright and Bright on the far post, and that's the equaliser. They've done it again. Here come Palace again. There are players over on the far side. Bright at the near post. Oh, it's squeezed in. 2-1 Palace. Bruce with a header. And away off the line. Palace survive.
Bright. Wright, as you'd expect, was waiting behind him. That's a mistake by Mortimer. Boulders decided to come. Down goes Bright. Wright. Well, I don't believe it. The whistle has gone. And Palace are furious. It's penalised them, they feel. Well, finally, the free kick is taken by Gray. That's Thorne! Justice, Palace will feel, has been done, and Andy Thorne gets his first goal for his new club. Pardew. Right off the goalkeeper and the post. Lee. Well, Robert Lee's got great acceleration, and that was a good try on the run. But Nigel Martyn learning to cope with the extra quality of First Division shooting. McGoldrick's corner. Hopkins got to it, and Bright reaps the benefit of that. Palace rightly proud of their corners. Walsh. Lee. Now Achampong. Brought down by Hopkins. Penalty. This really could put Charlton back in it. Mark Reed. No. So here goes Walsh. Oh, that's superb! 2-1.
And those two wins take Palace up to 12th place. They're now 14 points behind the leaders, Arsenal. In the Zenith Cup, Charlton are again beaten. Gray and Wright, the scorers. Nigel Martyn keeps his first clean sheet since signing from Bristol Rovers. And now a very busy Christmas-New Year period. Games against Chelsea, Norwich and Arsenal. First up, it's Chelsea at Selhurst Park.
Wilson. Tony Dorigo. Unusual to see Chelsea all in white. Oh, and a first-minute chance! Taken with relish by Kerry Dixon. Right. McGoldrick got to it. Oh, and Pardew has put it wide. Wright is away. The referee saw nothing wrong with the way he turned Moncau. Ian Wright with a splendid solo goal for Crystal Palace. McGoldrick. Not quite deep enough, but Pardew might make something of it, and Bright should! Terrific stop by Dave Besson. Moncau defending well at the near post. Back acrobatically by Gray. Bright! Offside. And I don't think there was much doubt about it. Gray could be the favourite here. It's rolled to give him a better angle, and it nearly beat Besant, who did well to improvise. Ian Wright on a run. Still going. Still Wright. Oh, and Pardew. It was blocked brilliantly by Moncau. Pemberton. Wright. Pemberton, get running! Marvellous goal for Palace. Dorigo. Plenty of power, but Martyn saw it coming. Clive Wilson with the signals for Chelsea. Moncau! Well, they didn't mark him very well. Clive Wilson, the Palace fans whistling, wanting the referee to do likewise. Graham Lasso has salvaged something for Chelsea on his First Division debut.
Andy Gray in the middle of the picture there, organising things for Palace. Now he's happy. He's right, and he scored again. His 11th this season, and it could be priceless.
Smith and Adams making their run from the edge of the area. The corner dropped short of them, though. Crystal Palace pushing out. Dixon plays it back. Merson might be in here. Past Martyn, but steered off the line by Jeff Hopkins. Dennis. Now Barber. That's clever play by Mark Bright. And Lukic just stretched enough to stop the header dropping over him. Hopkins. Smith making up the ground. Oh, and a mistake by Hopkins with catastrophic consequences for Crystal Palace. It should have been Hopkins' ball, but Smith kept on chasing and hoping for a mistake. It arrived an Arsenal lead. Thomas. Dixon charges on, and Thomas has found him. Lee Dixon for Arsenal. 2-0. And that was a delightful goal with this sweeper system that Arsenal are using again now. The fullbacks do have tremendous freedom to go forward, and Dixon relishes such opportunity. Wonderful goal. Well, Bright and Wright battling for it. And tucked away by Alan Pardew. Palace, with the tide running against them, it seemed, might have stemmed it a little here. What a scramble. Arsenal should have cleared it, but they didn't. Pardew scored. Thomas. It's 3. And Tony Adams got a touch along the way. Arsenal restore a 2-goal cushion. Thomas's volley flicked in by Adams. Adams, now Groves, bold, Smith, 4-1. What a first half for Arsenal. We've now had 5 goals in a 20-minute spell.
There's a win in the FA Cup, though. Palace win 2-1. Jeff Thomas and a last-minute penalty from Andy Gray. Back in the league, a trip to Coventry. That's followed by a home game against Liverpool, the team who inflicted that 9-0 thrashing earlier in the season.
Plenty of gaps in that stand on the far side. They've had enough, it seems. Oh, wait a minute. Speedy's in here. 86 minutes gone, and David Speedy surely settles it.
Hansen. McMahon. And Beardsley's in behind them now. He's round the goalkeeper. Ian Rush. And Palace will be frightened of what might happen now. Barnes and Liverpool playing with all the verve they showed when they got the 9 at Anfield. McMahon, no goal this time. Beardsley, there before Hopkins, but the ball bounced to Pardew, who's immediately given it back to Liverpool. Beardsley! Palace get it wide to McGoldrick. John Barnes playing the part of defender, but not doing it very well. Good work from McGoldrick. Right at the far post. Was that a push? I think it was. The ball has gone in off a combination of Nicol and Pardew, it seemed to me. But the crucial thing was that the whistle had gone. Certainly worth another look. And it was Ian Wright from McGoldrick's cross who pushed into Venison there. And what happened afterwards was strange, but irrelevant. Laid back by McGoldrick. Pemberton first time. Here's Wright. Very quick and troubling Liverpool, and Grobbelaar uncertain. Bruce Grobbelaar having some anxious moments now. Right and right. Thomas helps it on. Right up well, so too was Grobbelaar. Ian Wright is in for Crystal Palace. Round Grobbelaar, and Liverpool had some defensive heroics then from Venison. And Ian Wright hurt in this incident. Rush. Nicol. Peter Beardsley trying to pick a route to goal, and he's done it, although Nigel Martyn got a big hand on the ball. Awkward for Grobbelaar. Barnes got the final foot to the ball, I think, and there are bodies everywhere. First of all, McGoldrick, and he was hurt, and Pemberton too. Crystal Palace have given a very good account of themselves. So much speculation after the 9-0 game as to how the return would go. Eddie McGoldrick's had a good game, but I don't think he's going to complete it. And Ian Wright is limping off as well. Certainly Steve Coppell can be proud of the attitude of his players. Rush. Liverpool pen back into their own half again. Oh, off the post, and Wright couldn't deal with the rebound.
Now Palace prepare for their FA Cup fourth-round tie against Huddersfield without the injured Wright and McGoldrick. But Palace still win comfortably, 4-0. Wright's replacement, John Salako, among the scorers. And Salako, who went on loan to Swansea at the start of the season, now has a great opportunity to stake a claim for regular first-team football, with games against Forest and Southampton coming up.
Well, it still doesn't look as though it's back 10 yards. Pearce setting himself. Clough. Oh, Clough surprised everybody. And Forest are in front right on half-time. Here's Parker. Hodge is to his left. Here is Hodge steadying himself. 2-0. Hodge. Nicely done. Clough. Still Clough. And here's Parker. And Jensen must score. Well, 2 or 3 had a chance there before Jensen finally made it 3-0. That's rather handy. Salako, he's on his own and must score here. Too late, but a good goal. 3-1.
Hopkins winning it back again for Palace. And then Barry Horn doing likewise for Southampton. Case. Good touch by Wright out. Cockerill spreading it wide now to Wallace. So a first real test for Shaw against Rodney Wallace, and the header from Wright out was too close for comfort, as Wallace just got inches ahead of Richard Shaw to get the cross in, and it was inches the wrong way for Wright out. Case. Dispossessed by Thomas. Salako going through the centre, and Thomas opting to have a crack with the left foot. Taken on by Pemberton. Typical pacey work from him. He's past Case and couldn't quite thread it inside that near post. But it's just the sort of ambition that Crystal Palace need to show here after 4 consecutive league defeats. Away by Pemberton. Just a question really here of what Southampton might have lost through a succession of cup ties recently. High pressure games. Oh, and Salako making Crystal Palace forget for the moment the absence of Ian Wright. He's had to wait for his chance. A goal at Forest in the last game, and some very crisp finishing here. 1-0, 12 minutes gone. Letitia, dogged by Pemberton, but Southampton able to keep going with Shearer. And they've got a corner. It's come for Shearer. And it was blocked by Pemberton when other defenders for Palace were not quite as decisive in their work. Southampton with happy memories of this ground. Letitia showing a flash of temper there. But they beat Charlton 4-2 here on New Year's Day. Played some sparkling football. But there's still a goal adrift against Crystal Palace. Five waiting for Case's free kick. And they moved up in a line, and the header from Letitia was nicely done. Well, it was a close thing. Maybe Letitia was free, but others around him were offside. Picked off by Hopkins. And he's done well to conjure up a pass like that. With Bright and Gray, and it's Gray who gets the goal. And his greatest difficulty, really, was getting a teammate out of the way. Mark Bright thought this might be his. But Gray got there and kept the shot down and into the back of the net. Salako. Nimble work again from him. Wright might reach the near post, and he's set up. Phil Barber! These 2 goals in quick succession in the second half have really turned Crystal Palace back to winning ways. And Phil Barber's first goal in the First Division laid on for him by a combination of Salako and Wright. 3-0. So Southampton, who have delighted so many fans and indeed the experts this season with the quality of their play, but it's Crystal Palace who are turning on the style now. Osman. Ruddock got to the first header, and Russell Osman rounded it off for Southampton, coming in at the far post. So Palace caught with a spot of complacency there. Salako, Pardew in the thick of it as well, and Barber with a shot that Flowers did well to react to, because it was just a little poke at the ball by Barber, but it was right on target. Shaw. Gray. Through for Salako, the advantage played. It was a foul by Benali. Oh, well held from Barber's header. Benali, and Palace against the post from Salako. Well, he's hungry to be involved in everything, John Salako. Shearer. Might be some Palace jitters if Southampton can get a second. Neil Maddison very nearly did it too. Well, they were attracted towards the ball, the defenders, and they took their eyes off Maddison and just about got away with it.
Now Palace are 14th with 29 points, but rather too near the relegation places for comfort. But Palace are making great progress in the FA Cup. A Phil Barber goal gives them victory over Rochdale. There's another cup success in the Zenith competition. Swindon are beaten by a single goal. Andy Gray's the scorer this time. But the first leg of the Southern final goes against Palace. They lose 2-0 at home to Chelsea. But now it's back to the First Division with games against Sheffield Wednesday and Spurs.
Worthington's throw. Back from Francis. And it's Francis again. And Worthington again. It's drifted in. An absolute freak for Nigel Worthington. Picked up by Barber. And off the line by King. Worthington. Well, the ball playing tricks again whenever it's off the ground, but Worthington collected it. And Martyn not going to be caught out a second time. Is that a push by Atkinson? The referee thought not. It was a very good chance. Thorne with the free kick. Wright! They're level now. Wright challenging. And a bit of rough and tumble there with Laurie Madden. The referee has let the game go on, and the linesman isn't so sure. Mark Bright is sent off for an off-the-ball incident with Laurie Madden.
Gray with the kick. Straight at Gascoigne, who's confronted now by Pardew. And he's in trouble. Gray's won it back. A chance here for Palace. Pardew, away off the line. That's a fine ball. Lineker. Naeem on ahead of him. There he is. And Mabbutt's on the far side and marked. Good header. And a very good save from Nigel Martyn. Andy Thorne with the kick for Palace. Scooped up. Torsford's come a long way and didn't get a good punch. Pardew!
What a superb victory. But Palace are still in the wrong half of the table. They're 15th. Ian Wright returns for the FA Cup 6th round tie at Cambridge, but striking partner Mark Bright is now missing. A Jeff Thomas goal wins the game. Palace are in the semi-finals for only the second time in their history. Only Liverpool stand between them and a first Wembley appearance, because they lose the Zenith Cup second leg Southern final 2-0 at Chelsea. One possible route to Wembley is cut off. And now 2 league games in 4 days, starting with Everton at Goodison Park.
Stuart McCall, that's a good ball, Addervelt. And Sharp, a typical Graham Sharp goal. Everton in front. Sheedy quickly taken. With Snowden, the right fullback. And Cotty, 2-0 Everton. Tony Cotty. Palace still looking for something. Nicely taken by Southall. Very fancied his chances then. Wright must score. Brilliantly saved by Southall. Agricultural clearance. Sharp chasing. Oh, Pemberton's gone down. Oh, Graham Sharp seems to want to fight everybody. And that doesn't look too encouraging. John Pemberton and the Palace manager, Steve Coppell, away on the far side, naturally concerned. Nevin. 2-0, Everton lead. A Whiteside and Cotty. That's 3. Nevin again. Snowden. Whiteside hasn't been Palace's day. 4-0.
Barber. Wright. And that was Blades who brought him down. That doesn't look good. Well, this is only his 4th game back, and I fancy that's the same leg damaged again. Blades may have left his leg in there, but with the semi-final coming up, that's a desperately disappointing sight for Crystal Palace fans. And what bad luck for Ian Wright. Shilton's punch and Gray back into the net. Crystal Palace take the lead. In swinging, and Wright, 1-1. Mark Wright gets the equaliser.
Poor Ian Wright. He's got a fractured leg, similar to the injury which kept him out earlier in the season. Coppell moves quickly to sign Gary Thompson from Watford. He lines up with bid again Mark Bright against Aston Villa before away trips to Millwall and Norwich. First, Thompson's debut against one of his former clubs.
Gary Thompson is 30 now. Crystal Palace, his 6th league club. Well, Villa struggling a bit here. Bright. And it's turned in by Thompson. After 4 minutes against one of his former employers. Thompson's got there. And Price puts it away. A yard from the line. McGrath, there's confusion here between Paul McGrath and Nigel Spink, and Thompson is chasing everything with gusto. McGrath with the free kick. On from Cascarino. York trying to get there. Platt will get there. And Palace rather fortunate to survive that one.
A lot of activity inside that 6-yard box. Wright trying to get himself free. There he is! And he scored, Mark Wright. The effort worthwhile then in the end. Wright's away again. Nicely done. Gray's free in the middle. Oh, it's a great finish from Andy Gray. Well, Millwall in terrible trouble now. They trail by 2-0. Dawes is forward. Great stop. Allen! That'll give them heart.
Brooks corner. Andy Linnigan. Oh, and Nigel Martyn dropped it at the feet of Tim Sherwood. Wright couldn't get there. Well, Thompson did. So it's a corner to Palace. Phillips. Ian Crook, who's really controlling the game at the moment. Bowen. Found by Townsend's pass. And I think that might have been an own goal off Gary O'Reilly. Thompson got to it. Wright was wrong-footed, but Thomas wasn't. Good stop by Brian Gunn. Sure. Oh, and Wright made a header there when he came between two defenders where he really had no right to get to the ball, Norwich would feel, and Brian Gunn really on his mettle.
So Palace are still hovering just above the relegation places, but 40 points really should be enough to guarantee safety. Now history's made. Palace reach Wembley for the first time. A thrilling semi-final against Liverpool. Alan Pardew gets the decider. Palace win 4-3. Steve Coppell says, having lost to Liverpool 9-0 this season, I was happy to get a goal. To get 4 was remarkable. So, a jubilant Palace to take on Arsenal and Chelsea in the league.
Gray's throw. Lukic has come a long way and didn't get a good punch on that. Well, Arsenal survive. Nice touch. And Dixon, well forward. It's a good stop by Martyn. Hayes has put Arsenal in front. Lee Dixon popped up on the left-hand side of the box. Hayes scored. Thorne stretching. And that's not an encouraging sight with Palace's FA Cup final appearance on the horizon. Pardew banging one forward. Thompson chasing. He's done well there. Bright is up. Here is Bright. And Gray's arriving. Well struck. And Palace deserve that.
A sporting gesture here as Chelsea applaud out Crystal Palace in recognition of their achievement in reaching the FA Cup final. Nicholas with the free kick. Palace try to move out and they haven't orchestrated it well enough because Kerry Dixon is back in business here. Jury sent flying by O'Reilly. And that is a yellow card. O'Reilly going for the ball, but Jury was just too quick for him. There's a chase on here for Dixon. And this is Stewart off the line by O'Reilly. Well, Graham Stewart in the first half of his first division game and denied a goal by O'Reilly. Thompson did well with that brave challenge. Barber's gone ahead of him. A chance here for Palace, but one they can't take. O'Reilly has come through the back of Jury again. Now, if that's a second bookable offence, I suspect it is, he's got to go. It's not a long walk. O'Reilly is sent off. Dixon. Kevin Wilson gets his 20th goal of the season. Lasso. Kevin Wilson. Dixon, and it was Stewart who came in to mark his debut in the best possible way.
Palace 16th, and O'Reilly's dismissal at Stamford Bridge will mean a suspension, but O'Reilly will be available for the cup final. 4 league games to play before that Wembley appearance, home to Charlton, away to relegation strugglers Luton, then Wimbledon, and finally Manchester City at Selhurst. Let's start with relegated Charlton, the final meeting of landlords and tenants.
Bowler's kick. And straight back. Here's Mark Wright. Thompson pulling away in the middle. That'll find him. Thompson and Palace are in front. Where was the marking? Andy Gray. Policed all the way back. Still got his cross in. They've left Bright free, and that's found its way in for number 2. Charlton still gamely probing. Lee's in, and Minto just couldn't get a touch. Oh, Minto's in again here. Good save by Martyn.
Now Black. Dowie racing for this one. Couldn't quite make it. It was a valiant effort. Wilson. Back from Dowie. Danny Wilson. Oh, that's heartbreaking for Luton, who so badly need a goal. Well, it was James's header, and Gary O'Reilly got it off the line. Rees. This must be the last chance for Luton. They've got 1 foot in the second division. Rees. Dowie! That's incredible! In the last minute, Luton are still alive.
Plenty of aerial stuff. Not too much pattern to it yet. That's more promising. Fashanu jumping. And Miller is in. Oh, and he screwed it wide. Really should have done better. Fashanu, oh, he went in high there, and Thomas wasn't very pleased about it. And they're coming in from all angles here. Thomas being dragged away, and Fashanu will have to go into the book at the very least. Fashanu was waiting, it didn't quite reach him. Still a chance, that's a good ball. Well, Martyn's missed it completely. Wise, brilliantly done. Oh, it didn't go in. Hit the bar. Lovely skills from Dennis Wise. Rocketed in. Here's Pardew. And again. And Bright! And Palace are in front. Mark Bright, the scorer. Well to get round the back. Pardew and Wise, and here we go again. Well, it really doesn't warrant that sort of reaction. Dennis Wise has stayed down. Fashanu and Pemberton having a go in the front there, but it's all got a little bit out of hand, this. I wonder what Bobby Gould makes of it. Fashanu jumping. Well, that's come off court. Martyn scurrying. He did very well indeed to keep that out. Would have been an extraordinary goal had it gone in.
There's a great festival atmosphere here at Selhurst Park as Wright heads down, and the Crystal Palace supporters already have a goal to cheer Alan Pardew. We've had just 3 minutes. It's left for Gray. Oh, what a shot! What a goal, Andy Gray! He runs to the bench to get the applause. Quinn, with that handball by O'Reilly, it was. Penalty for Manchester City. Here goes Allen against the club he served 9 years ago. Clive Allen comes on as a substitute and immediately pulls it back to 2-1. Redmond. Thompson caught Steve Redmond after the ball had gone, and Gary Thompson, already booked, is going to go off here. Thompson sent off. Quinn, well, did he take it on his arm? The goal stands, City are level, and Crystal Palace aren't happy about it. 2-2, 2 minutes left.
That draw with Manchester City means Palace finish 15th, equal with Manchester United, the perfect balance for the cup final. All round, a very successful flight back for the Eagles to Division 1. The leading goal scorers: Mark Bright has 17, Ian Wright 11, Andy Gray gets 10, and Alan Pardew 8, and that includes one he'll never forget, the FA Cup semi-final winner against Liverpool. These figures, by the way, don't include the cup final. Plenty to look forward to next year then, especially if those twin strikers, Wright and Bright, stay right.
Stevens charged down by Gray, fairly, and Wright's away. Bright's up with him. Crystal Palace can win it here with Mark Bright. It's a great finish. Millwall hold their heads. There's 2.5 minutes left. Horn had absolutely no chance. It's sped into the top corner. And this great pairing, Wright and then Bright, may have finally eased Crystal Palace ahead at the right time. What a strike.